Hello everyone and welcome to our Tag Across London teams discussion analysis. I'm here with Luke.
Hi, I'm Luke and I was in the team with Larry.
And I'm Larry.
We seem to be a team of just us today.
Mads and Jamie are not here. They didn't want to be part of this. So Luke and I are here to represent everyone here.
It's going to be a very one-sided representation of every single person here.
We did all watch the video together though, and they did share some thoughts. So we'll relay those to you.
I think there's only one point that they really wanted to make, and that was that they were very tired.
And that was the point they made like so many times in the video.
We cannot stress that enough. They were so tired.
We'll get to that. Let's just flick through the moments of the video. We'll recap you guys with what's on screen as well. So the video starts here in Liverpool Street. I was going to mention that in the video, but I crammed so much voiceover dialogue in the intro that I just didn't want to add any more to that. We were going to start in Charing Cross like the last one, but
this was the first time Jamie had ever been to London.
Been to London on his own. I was shocked when Jamie came in to Liverpool Street.
And we were like, come to Charing Cross. And he said, no.
He was like, I don't know how. And in that moment, I was like, oh my lord, how is he going to do the rest of what he's going to do today?
Yeah.
But once he was with Mads, he was fine. He could navigate.
I did have a little bit of footage of us just like hanging around Charing Cross.
That's true. It should be on screen now. Here's a fun point. My mum asked, why didn't we take the Hammersmith and City or Circle line directly to Wood Lane at the very start of the game?
Ah.
We had just started. The hype, the blood rush, the heart pumping was so real that I didn't realize that there was a direct line. However, it was ultimately the best play because they had no idea where we were going the whole time.
We needed to be secretive. If we had gone on the
Circle
line, they would have seen us traveling. It was kind of an advantage.
Totally an advantage, yeah. A random fact here, I flipped the shot as you can see because it was very weird. The train was going one way and we were going the other way.
Ooh, sneaky, ooh.
There was a confusion. This was my fault because there was a rule that like if you're entering a station, you have to text entering X station. I just assumed that we were starting at Liverpool Street and there was nowhere else to go, so they would just assume that we had taken a train. However, following the rules, we should have texted them entering Liverpool Street station, which is why they were like, well, they didn't go in then.
Going forward, rough patches like that we're hoping to iron out.
Definitely, yeah.
That little meanwhile you did, was that like a Top Gear thing where it's just, meanwhile?
Yes, it was.
I have no memory of this house. I didn't notice it at first. We walked past it. You acknowledged it. I saw it, and then I just completely forgot about it until I saw this video.
Everyone I've watched this with didn't dispute that the Union Jack is on the Australian flag, so this challenge was fine.
Phew, I can sleep well at night knowing that.
I did creatively word it as a Union Jack and not the United Kingdom flag, but I didn't consider that. We would find an Australian flag in London before finding the UK one.
We were trying our best here.
There are two things I cut out here. One was when I picked this up, I said, oh no, it's got an England flag. We need a Union Jack. And then I realized the Australian flag was there. Also, I cut that we were in this shot for a while. Like there was like several minutes of looking between me talking to Luke and then us going, shall we just go with it?
Staying here probably didn't help because they were able to like actually start following us at this point. I want to talk about the really awkward frames that you chose for like the victory screens. Every single one of these looks dreadful.
I didn't choose them because they're awkward. I chose them because of how they lined up in the timing.
We all just broke down laughing because of just how ridiculous some of these looked.
I'm glad it's funny. I enjoy that these are funny. We also cut before we went, okay, let's go that way. We went into the station in White City and there was a convenience store. I might be able to put on the footage on screen now. And it was the tiniest, most cramped convenience store.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
We looked in there for a bit, couldn't see anything, and then just left. They do a play here that they don't do again. They just straight up chase us from the moment they know where we are.
Oh yeah. So I feel like even just getting closer to us would be like better than staying in Liverpool Street.
It made complete sense to do. Next thing that happens is they realize, oh, they're like moving from their start now. Let's stop, otherwise, in Mads' words, we're going to be chasing their tails, which is a good play. It's only after they get off, they realize, I think Jamie is the one who realizes, they might be stopping here. And they're absolutely right. Then, as you all know, we stop at Edgware Road. And can I just say, we had no idea this happened at the time. We had absolutely no clue that this happened.
Like, I'm pretty sure I was, like, checking out every single stop we got at, just in case. Even with me sticking my head out, I realize now that that might not have been the smartest play, because you stick your head out of a train, someone could probably see you, but they didn't see us, so it doesn't matter. So
yeah, they couldn't see us. Mads goes, they're over there. If these two are here right now, I would ask them, why didn't they check where the trains were going? Why didn't they go, okay, let's find the train that's coming in that they're gonna be on?
you know, if they were on the right platform, this could have been a very short round.
It would have been. And then, of course, the station we go to is just one stop down. Not even two, one stop down. It's still a real shame to me that our genius bait and switch, it is explained, but it's not really brought up much at all. Every start had a set series of destinations, so that you couldn't get one that was right next to yours. This was after the very first game, which, spoiler alert, Mads rolled a really short route. And I was like, okay, we need to make sure that doesn't happen in future games.
That's the great thing about the series, is that it's constantly being tweaked and refined.
Absolutely. It's constantly evolving. So as a byproduct of this, which as a shame is quite hard to show on video, like each and every one of the combinations of starts and destinations. But we do mention that St. John's Wood is a destination of Wood Lane, which they know was our start. So presumably the map they were looking at would show St. John's Wood is a destination we could be going to, which is why I thought, let's get off at Baker Street. I thought they might go straight to St. John's Wood to try and catch us there. But no, we did not know that they were right behind us and they were just straight up going for us, not even considering our troll plan.
When you're in the runner role, it's a little unnerving the entire time knowing that they could be anywhere.
Not knowing where they are.
Knowing that they're following you is one thing. Not knowing, have they predicted my movements and are like waiting around the next corner for me, is terrifying.
So we get to Baker Street and the biggest blunder in the game happens.
We were feeling so confident at this point too.
We were so confident. When you don't have any feedback, any proof of where they are, you either think they're constantly there about to catch you, or you just don't think they're there at all.
I remember thinking, we're so close. We're one change away from like beating this thing. We haven't heard or seen any sign of them. We're home free. Boy, were we wrong.
We were so close to being home free, though.
The arrogance of us like trying to outdo the challenge.
Right next to the station was this shop which had gifts in it, and then we got one, and we obviously should have just run straight back in, and we probably would have been fine.
I genuinely think we could have pulled this off.
Yeah.
There's a clip that I recorded right before we got stopped by them. It was Larry purchasing the donut for Jamie, and a donut for himself, I might add.
You fat bastard.
I wish I'd been recording just a bit longer, because if I had, we would have gotten the start of the chase, which I know we would have killed for.
Absolutely. I so wish you guys could see the sight of us just waltzing out of the donut shop, and then we just see them on the other side of the street, and we were like, oh shit. Yeah, as we were running into the station, I saw the ticket barriers and I was like, yep, this is it. We're screwed. And they catch us. As so much of a shame that is, that was so fun. I'm so glad that happened. For the video, that was so great. You know, a climactic chaser win.
I never realized just how fast you could run. I think this was the first time I'd seen you run since we were like 14 or 15. And I was like, holy shit, Larry's fast.
I was running for my life. I don't think I can run that fast.
You are a machine when it comes to running. Like, you have untapped energy reserves just for Tag Across London.
So Mads falls over for some reason. I'm guessing just the exhaustion from running all that distance.
Oh, there's the Dunkin' Donuts. There it is right behind.
Yeah, you can see the Dunkin' there. I didn't even realize that.
As bummed as I am about losing that round, I mean, it was entertaining to watch. It was so entertaining.
Ultimately, this is entertainment. I'm glad that's what happened. And we learned our lesson as well.
Yeah, don't get too cocky. Don't buy your friends donuts.
Never buy your friends donuts. Just don't
socks.
do it.
Just socks.
Which Mads thought was a tissue at first.
Well, I mean, socks can be... let's not get into
that. There are all the starts here. Originally, when this shot zooms in, I had a note on screen that said they were supposed to re-roll here, but oh well. Because there was a rule that if you roll a start or destination that's already been done, re-roll. Ultimately, it didn't matter, but that's to balance the game, otherwise you're going back exactly where we've just been. But oh well. It ultimately didn't matter, so I cut that bit of trivia from the video.
Rules that minute in the grand scheme of things don't really matter.
If a rule sequel ultimately doesn't matter. I don't include it in the final video. But now you get to know, loyal viewer, listener, whatever you are. So, Mads and Jamie now explain their strategy for this is extreme speed, where they go as directly as they can to Manor House. Oh, yeah. Then when they get to Wood Lane, they take this legendary photo.
We were running around Baker Street for a little while. We weren't sure if we were getting on one of the trains. We weren't sure if we were trying to follow them right away.
We had no idea what we were doing here. We were so lost.
I was trying to get like any kind of signal I could, which is why you could see we're above the platforms here. And it's a good thing that we did do that, because we wouldn't have found out that their starting destination was Wood Lane.
Here, when it's revealed, I say, oh, for f***'s sake. Not because they're at Wood Lane, because they were supposed to re-roll if they got Wood Lane. And I was like, damn it, they broke a rule. So here, I have no idea what we're doing.
There was a lot of indecisiveness around that.
We were so indecisive.
I think it worked out fine.
Now, I love this challenge.
I love how you edit this challenge too. It just comes together very nicely.
Thank you. The one thing that frustrates me about this challenge is, in my mind, I thought, hopefully the challenge they've got will slow them down so much that we get there before they move. But they did it on the darn platform.
Or are they supposed to leave the station for this?
I think there actually was a rule that they were supposed to leave the station to do the challenge.
Details.
Details, whatever. It ultimately didn't matter.
Again with this.
These frames. I love this, like Jamie's cross-eyed here.
I need to explain to the audience that, Larry, you were a menace editing this video, because every time you came across like the ugliest frame known to man, you would send it to me.
Yeah,
I remember just like looking at it for a good few minutes being like, oh my gosh. There's a real temptation with the GoPro to just like hold it down low. You want to try and like lift your arm up a bit more so you don't have, so it
doesn't look like this. So here is where I start to figure out what they're doing. These are all the destinations from Wood Lane, as you can see. Whilst we didn't know, my immediate concern was that they would be the type to just go straight there from Hammersmith. And I was right. So my concern is they're going to Hammersmith to change straight to Manor House or Barking. I held my hope that they didn't completely get exactly the same route we had just got. So I thought it's probably Manor House. I didn't say that, but I thought it's probably Manor House. Realistically, it could have been Manor House, Barking, North Greenwich, Wapping. I thought there were 4 destinations, which is why I say this. There are actually 5. That's why I say 2 in 4 chance. I'm referring to the 2 stations that are directly accessible from Hammersmith. So I was like, there is a 2 in 4 chance, and then I realized that that's half. I'm not just totally dumb and wanted to generalize the chance to 2 in 4, but I'm fine with that being the viewer's interpretation, because that's really funny. There are several counters I want for this video. If anyone has way too much time on their hands, can we please have a counter of amount of times I say hang on and amount of times Mads or Jamie say the word tired, please? That would be great.
You know what I've picked up is that you also say non-zero chance a couple times.
Yes, I do.
I don't know if you did this to me, but I've started saying that, and I feel like I got it from you.
Do you know what's funny, Luke? I got that from Griffin. Griffin inspired me to say that. I really like that expression.
Oh my gosh.
We all rub off on each other, you know?
Oh, don't say it like that.
Rub off. That like is a phrase, right?
I know what you mean, but I mean,
we all jerk off each other, you know? And then here is my game-changing realization. This was the one moment in the game where I'd had an advantage because I'm such a nerd when it comes to the tube. I somehow know that at that section of track in the London Underground, the District line goes overground and the Piccadilly line doesn't. And Luke, you seemed a bit terrified by me knowing this.
I'm terrified of you in general, Larry. You know more than you really should.
I love that I've had this revelation. You're just like looking at your phone and like kind of nodding.
I'm like, yeah, man, okay.
I feel really bad because I didn't realize this at the time. I say this line, there's a big chance they're going on a train direct to the destination. Do you understand how bad that is? I say that as like joking, like, haha, isn't this like, aren't we screwed? But I cut your reaction to this. You were genuinely offended. You thought I was like, don't you fucking understand this, Luke? Do you understand how bad that is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do, Larry. I didn't realize this at the time. I like offended you by saying this joke to the camera. So in this video, unlike the last one, I actually include some bits where we're really waiting for a train, like cutting away to feel like there's a progression of time. But even then, you viewer do not get how much of the game is just waiting around and being like in suspense because you can't do anything when you're waiting.
Like, I came up with the whole third rail bit genuinely just to pass time.
You were not lying. No, that was a great bit. I love that I flip the camera around and just have this stupid face.
Oh, I love what you did with the graphics here.
Thank you, yeah. I thought it removes the suspense if I show actually where they are on the line.
Yeah.
So I thought I've got to come up with a way, and this is what I did, where it's just like no signal, they're somewhere on the line, to put the viewer in the mind of us. We get to King's Cross.
God, I remember we were so fired up to try and claw our way back. We don't see this in the video, but like we're marching down the escalators. That's how serious it was.
Yeah. I cannot state enough. They got on at Hammersmith so long before this. At this point, everyone in the game thinks they've won. We'd looked through the entire train at this point, and then we realized there is nothing we could do other than check the trains behind us, even though we both thought that was totally impossible. By the way, we're the chasers, but we couldn't use the trackers here because we're underground. So we had no way of knowing if they'd already won, like 10 minutes ago, or what.
Yeah.
Which was a very real possibility in our minds.
If they were like done and out, we weren't about to risk going all the way back up to the surface just to check if they had won, because then we'd probably miss them if they hadn't.
Yeah. We had to cling on to what seemed like this totally lost hope and just keep checking behind us. We were sitting around for minutes, 10 minutes, and we were both just sitting around like so defeated. We 100% thought they had to have got there by now. There's no way we got here first.
And we weren't about to split up and, check the surface,
Yeah.
because I think we're not allowed to split up.
So officially we're not allowed to split up, but like you have to be in the same room. A train counts as the same thing, the same room.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have been allowed to get on different trains. So technically we only broke the rules after the round ended. And then this happens, and I could not believe my eyes. And then I catch them. I'll relay what they said about this bit. They told us they spent the whole train journey at this point basically completely forgetting they were in the game. They were just genuinely having a conversation like about life and stuff. They so thought the round was already over. They see me and they're genuinely like, what? They didn't even react like, oh, we've lost. Oh no. When we told them afterwards like how we had found them, I think they were a bit annoyed that we were like just checking trains behind us. And, fair enough, but it was the only thing we could do to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And also, well, my counter to this is they shouldn't have been on such a predictable route that was so long. I love this. This is like my favorite part of the video.
I had never been here before in my life. I remember we were talking to Jamie and Mads about this when I used to like smack the station sign with my fist. Jamie suggested we put in my own winner title card. It's just like Luke wins
the round.
At this point in the game, we had all reunited. We ate dinner at a Weatherspoons. This one line had so much weight.
We need to be as chaotic and crazy as possible because we don't want them to figure out where we're going.
And it seems like not only were we being chaotic and crazy, fate itself was being chaotic and crazy that night.
Yeah. So we ended up going to Caledonian Road. While the train is parked, we decide to get off it.
Again, on a whim.
Yeah.
Larry, you had crackhead energy this night.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know what you were on, but it was like insane.
I was on adrenaline. I was pumped.
I think it was more than adrenaline, man.
Oh, there's a cut challenge here. There's also a cut rule, which I choose not to explain at all. So we were prepared for challenges to be impossible. However, not fully. We had a rule that was like, at one point in your round, you can re-roll a challenge, but you only get one re-roll. Here, we rolled a challenge that was find a penny or find a coin.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We rolled that, looked around for a bit, and went, we're not doing it. Let's just use up our challenge reroll now.
We were like, no, that's not gonna happen.
So that was why we felt like we had to find a bird later. We would have just re-rolled it if that didn't happen. But I thought there's no point in explaining this rule and showing this. It just ruins the pacing. So I just...
Larry, can I just say, for this one part of the video here, we ran to the overground station. And at this point, I don't think my dinner had quite settled yet. I can feel it in my stomach. And my stomach is beginning to like churn. I could feel in my bowels that diarrhea was forming. There's no way to cushion this.
There's no way to
The diarrhea shit was forming.
And I had no idea. I had no idea this was happening.
My stomach cramp was just like, oh, it made me feel terrible. So it's just like, we just got to get this done. We just got to go. We just got to get this done, and then we'll be fine, okay?
So we were fueled by Larry's determination and Luke's diarrhea.
It's a winning combination.
So we get to the station finally. We were waiting here for 10 minutes, looking at the walkway up to the station, knowing that they could have just come up here and caught us in that time.
In that first round, they followed us to our station, and they tried to beat us there. I just thought that they would be walking up where we came up through.
There, Luke is holding in diarrhea feces. Even editing this, I had no clue.
I told Larry and the gang about this last night. This was a secret I held on to for 7 months. I'm pleased to report I am getting back into running. I am not going to let my health slip that bad to the point where it's like I run for 5 minutes and I have diarrhea shits.
Diarrhea podcast, oh my lord.
This is definitely like half real.
The struggle is real. You are physically holding in diarrhea, and you are holding in the fact that you had this problem.
If I told Larry, then it would be like, okay, well...
It would have totally changed my mindset, to be fair.
There's a chance that it might have just gone away, and it did later on in the night. The moment we start the next challenge, it fizzles out.
So I explained this elaborate plan. Something I always picked up when I was a kid is that when, in a cartoon, a character explains a plan exhaustively, it's because it's not going to go right. Much akin to that, I fully explain this plan, and then it doesn't go right at all.
If you want a plan to go right, Larry, you have to like lean into their ear and go...
That's true. And then that's when a plan goes right. This was genuinely scary. I play it off as a joke, but like, this is actually quite scary.
It was the weirdest thing what happened there.
But we didn't film when this was happening. When this happened, when we rolled in to South Hampstead next to Swiss Cottage, I was like, what the heck? Have we like have we like shifted dimensions? Like, how did this happen? This is impossible. That's a different line. I so wish I filmed that, but I was genuinely confounded that this had happened.
Wasn't there like a strike going on or something? But that wasn't communicated with us like while we were getting on the train.
No, not at all. We got off immediately. Jamie did say when they looked at the tracker and saw that we had somehow teleported to another line, they said that really crushed them. They felt so demoralized. And to be clear, the whole plan was to make it so they couldn't predict where we were going.
Even we couldn't have predicted that. Even we couldn't have predicted what we did next.
Here is where the chasers realize that Finchley Road is almost certainly where we're starting. They actually consider going to Finchley Road. And in fairness, if you look at a map, it's just like spaghetti. It's like, God, I don't know how you're going to get there. But no, there is a direct line. The Metropolitan line goes straight to Finchley Road, and it's 4 stops down the line.
I wonder how differently the game would have been if they had realized that.
Yeah, it isn't obvious. But that was there. Like, they could have easily gone there, like, if they'd known.
We could have lost if they realized that.
Oh, easily. We would have lost if they realized that.
I don't know. If we were looking for birds, maybe that'd be a different story. You know?
Yeah, true. So here we are thinking, okay, we're just going to do a challenge and then get on the Jubilee line and carry on. We had no idea what was about to happen.
This was the most soul-crushing part of the entire game. We filmed a good chunk of that. 20 minutes of that was on camera.
There was so much I cut out.
There was so much of us thinking that anything could have been a bird.
I swear I heard a bird at some point.
I heard like a flapping, and I was like, what was that? What is that? Was that a bird? And it was just, like tape. Just like barrier tape. I cannot emphasize enough just how stressed out we were, just how on edge we were this entire round.
Out in the open, knowing full well they have good tracker coverage of us, and they could easily come down here and just catch us out of the street. We thought that was going to happen.
We were starting to get slightly demoralized.
We were so demoralized at this point. I don't know what it is with this station, especially at night and no one being around. It felt so liminal. It felt like we're not supposed to be here.
It was scary. It was just a little unsettling in general.
It was really unsettling. And also, there is a direct overground connection from there to South Hampstead even. They could have just gone there. But we will say, they thought the whole time that we were about to get the start and then run off in an instant. They thought we were about to go and then them being there would be pointless, but they had no idea how long we were going to take.
This whole round would have probably played out differently had this been like the first round or the second round. If it was like earlier on in the day and they had more motivation to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Or even if it was daylight, this challenge would have been done instantly.
If we have this in January, by the way, it got dark so quickly. God, I hate filming in winter.
It was dark at like 4. We saw more foxes than we did birds that night.
We saw 3 foxes and no birds.
In London.
In London.
In London. You'd think that we'd see at least one bird.
There were just none. Where did they go? Where do birds go at night?
Birds don't exist at night.
Birds just don't exist at night. Conspiracy.
Actually, I can disprove that because way later we finished. I'm sitting around in King's Cross for a bit. I look up and what do I see? Just sitting around in the station canopy. F***ing bird. I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I find one after everything's said and done. I'm so mad.
20 minutes might not sound like a lot, but
When time is so important,
we had taken so long. Surely they would have just given up whatever plans they had and just gone out to get us at this point, but nope, they did not do that.
even 1 minute means a lot. Now, picture 20.
So here we kind of invented a new rule. It was kind of an oversight that this wasn't a rule. I don't think anyone debated that this was the wrong thing to do, that we should have just been stood here for like the rest of the game. We were all a new challenge. They were angry at us for not getting there. We were desperate to get there as well.
The bridge challenge, I'm fine with. I'm not so crazy about the solution to it because I think Vaz and Jamie weren't as satisfied with this.
Oh yeah, no. They were like, what? That's how you did it? And I was like, what were we supposed to do? Walk away for 25 minutes?
Were we supposed to spend another 20 minutes looking?
I disagree. I think this is a creative solution purely because the challenge said any kind of bridge.
It was mainly just so that we could move the game along because I think no one's arguing that we needed to waste more time.
Sure, if we did this in round one immediately after rolling the challenge, yeah, I would have been like, nah, come on, try and find a real bridge first. But like at this point in the game, I think it's okay. Otherwise, what would we have done? We get to Finchley Road, we think they're here, but no, they didn't go here. We go straight to West Hampstead. Now, what my plan here at this point was, I thought they were somewhere really close by. My plan here was to take the overground, but the overground was closed.
Our train was probably stopped and then diverted for that reason.
The overground station here was just closed, but that was for the best because we didn't know that they were practically on the verge of giving up. We just needed to finish the game. Draw your opponents, of course, this was great because even though it's 3 minutes, it's a concrete time. We knew this would end, and it was fun. It was creative.
We should go back to this bench.
We should. Now for their biggest blunder of all. We know why. They were so mentally and physically tired here. No logical thought was happening here. Well, okay, but some logic.
Drained of their spirit and their enthusiasm, and I don't blame them at all.
I said earlier in this discussion that we had specific destinations for specific starts. At this point, it is completely confirmed that we went to Finchley Road, but they didn't even look at Finchley Road's destinations. Neither Belsize Park nor Gunnersbury are destinations of Finchley Road.
So they're looking at like the wrong map here.
To not be mean, I just didn't mention that detail. They put all their bets on a station that isn't even a possible destination that we could have gone to, which is a real shame for them.
It's just how tired Vance looks here.
Just baffled as to how they were so tired. Like, we'd only been doing this for like a few hours. Like, we'd had a long break, we'd eaten, but like they were just absolutely drained. And they were sitting around for an hour.
But here's the thing, it's like even just waiting around can be exhausting. Waiting around, it's a little boring, you know? It's like boringness equates to like just tiredness.
That's true, that's true.
That's like why people get tired on airplanes, you know?
Boredom tiredness. Piled with physical tiredness. So much was cut here. We just teleported to the station. I cut us going to the overground station.
There was so much content that was cut down. We were at one point hiding. We were convinced that they were going to show up on one of these trains approaching the station. When we get on the train, you can see at some point, I put on my hat. Larry, you put up your hood. We try and disguise ourselves because we're so convinced that they're going to be waiting for us. At any moment, they could be like, boo, gotcha.
Little did we know, at this point in the game, they'd completely given up.
Which I think it makes it a little funnier knowing that they'd given up and we had just imploded from paranoia.
I cut lots of stuff here because, I mean, there's no tension. There's no way the viewer is thinking that Mads and Jamie are going to catch us at this point. So I'm just like, all right, let's just get to the end of the game.
I remember being at Green Park and, you know, we find the church on the map. We went the wrong way first.
I cut that.
We made like this huge roundabout detour around all these different streets before finally looping in on the church. And that walk was like almost not even fun, where it was just like, where are they? Oh my god, we just got to get to the stupid church and it'll just be done. I think that's why the victory was just so gratifying for us, was because this entire round had been miserable. I mean, I wouldn't say miserable, but I mean like strong emotions were felt the entire time. The entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. There was footage of them coming back into the station, and I had to cut it because it made no sense.
We went up and got a little bit of signal again, and it appears that they are coming this direction.
And we're not! We're going away! And then, yeah, I cut everything between there and here just to get to the end because everyone knows we've won at this point.
Oh yeah, you pulled up your scarf too.
Yeah, I did. My grandma knitted that, by the way.
Oh, that's sweet.
Do you want to know some very, very strange trivia? The music I play here is the Nintendo 3DS's Health and Safety Information app soundtrack.
I thought that sounded familiar.
And then we get to, we had thought they were right behind us the whole time. We thought we'd narrowly evaded their every move. So we were ecstatic that we'd even done it, that we'd managed to escape them.
We won. It was the greatest feeling
Like, I
in the
hope
world.
it comes across what an adventure we'd been on.
We went through a whole pinwheel of emotions, looking for birds, getting switched onto the wrong lines, disguising ourselves and hiding from nothing.
Hiding from a team that was just sat still the whole game.
Like, they're following us. They're following us. No, they're not. They're not even, like, near your station. They're not even trying to find you.
When I learned afterwards what they'd done the whole time, I was very, very disappointed. I was like, it's not going to be tense at all for the viewer. They forfeit the game. Mads told me afterwards, like, God, that entire round, I just wanted to go home. And it's such a shame. But it is what it is. And then you get the most raw line from Mads here. No sugarcoating. We don't want to play anymore. And we won the game. Which, to be fair, unless we did 4 rounds, which even at this point, we were so not ready to do another round. I think this is the best way for it to go. Not because we won, but because it gives a definitive ending. Finally, someone properly won the game.
3 rounds was better with the scoring system that we have.
So a fun fact, this wasn't the scoring system we used in the game. In the game, you only got a point if you win as the runner. So for the entire game, it was 0-0 until we got to Pimlico. And as I was editing and adding the scoreboard, I thought this is really uninteresting as a viewer to feel like there is no progress happening for 38 minutes. So I came up with this because it doesn't actually change. It's still effectively the same scoring, but it feels much more cool when it's 2-1 and not 0-0 the whole time.
Things are actually happening while you watch.
Definitely. Like, you see the number go up.
This will probably be a staple of the series going forward, I'd imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. It also makes more sense now you can win as a chaser.
But man, was this a fun thing to make.
Oh, it was. It was wonderful. It was a great time. That was the video. Let's move on to the Q&A.
Oh boy, yes.
Our first question, Jordan Brown says, question, will you ever make another one of these videos? And if so, will it be out of London? So, Jordan, now I can safely say we went to Amsterdam and we filmed a thing there. It's not quite tag though, but you'll see. You'll see what it is.
It's an interesting shakeup of the format, and honestly...
We're very excited to reveal that one, and we hope you guys are excited for that too.
And we'll be doing more London at some point.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a bunch of questions from Jonas, aka Jonah Black. Do you think this game is viable only in big cities like London, or could it also be viable in cities like Cambridge?
I'd be happy to branch out to other cities, but London offers a better playing board. Other cities that do offer public transportation, the game would need to be adapted to that.
I think the biggest thing is, in this game, in London, the best transport-connected city in the UK, no doubt, you're still waiting, in some cases, 10 minutes. In a game like this, where you only want to be doing it for 5-6 hours, that is huge. In a city like Cambridge, you're going to be waiting for a bus for like half an hour. Honestly, if we were to do it in Cambridge, we'd probably have to do it on bikes.
Which I'd be happy to do. I'd be more than happy.
Point being, maybe, but we'd have to completely rework the game around it. Next question, do you think you'd play this with even more players or teams? 5 people, maybe even 6 is the absolute limit. Not just because of like logistically working with that many people, but also for a viewer, you don't want to have to be introduced to 10 different people.
Like trying to follow around like 22 different people, it would be way too much to follow. It would be a little too confusing. You wouldn't know everyone's names.
Oh, it would be a nightmare. It'd be an absolute nightmare to edit. 6 is the absolute limit. Next question, ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup. You'd be crazy to just pick mustard.
I don't think there's any debate about that.
Definitely ketchup.
Next question, pineapple on pizza?
Not for me, but I don't want to shame anyone who eats it. There's better things to put on pizza, in my opinion.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, unless their opinion's wrong, and pineapple on pizza is my favourite, so... I'm joking, obviously, it's fine to like and dislike what you want. Next question. Who is the most likely out of this whole group to start an OnlyFans if desperate enough?
Mads.
Mads. Okay, next question. Favorite video on our channel? That's so difficult. It's tied for me between Tag Across London Teams, of course. The videos on my hard drive 11. Yeah, it's tied between those two for me.
Tag Across London is probably my favorite thing that we've done.
I'm always astonished and taken aback and honored that so many people will just watch through it. People I know, like, I don't prompt them to, they just genuinely watch it out of interest. I can't believe that.
It's always crazy to think that people outside of our friend circles and family watch these videos as well. It's like,
it is crazy. Yeah, thank you so much genuinely for watching it.
Thanks for sticking around for this long and for tuning into the commentary Q&A.
Thank you so much for watching or listening. I can't believe that there is someone like you who would be interested enough to listen to this. Very grateful. If you got this far, please comment the word bagel. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.